Am I live? Yes, I'm live. Sweet. Hi guys. Oh, and there's my notification that I'm going live. Great. Welcome to today's live. My name is Floriona from Floral Flare Studio, and I'm here today to show you how to make these cute 3D paper stars. These can be made using, a variety of different papers. I mentioned it a little bit in my stories on Instagram that, you can use printing paper, which is like the 20-pound paper, 20-pound in weight, or a 75 GSM, that's the thickness. Here I'm using actually paper that's a little bit thicker than that. This one is 24 pounds or 90 GSM. But here I used scrapbook paper. Next I want to try to use wrapping paper. I think that would be really cool too. I actually want to try to use also like post-it notes because they're perfect. They're already square. So I'll keep you posted on that. No pun intended. So yeah, they also can be made in a variety of sizes. The squares that I'm using today are 4 inches, so 4 by 4. Hi Esther, super. Happy that you are here. So yeah, just using a variety of paper, that's the first important thing. Any paper you have at hand essentially, and then a variety of sizes, so like the size can be whatever you want it to be. So here, let me show you. I made this using really small paper. I forget now what the size was, and then this one slightly bigger, and as you can see these have 4 points. So I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit because I feel like I'm screaming into my phone. So yeah, different sizes. These have 4 points, but this one has 7 points. So it's really cool, I think, that you can create all these different looks and styles. The paper here, by the way, that I used here was 65-pound cardstock. So as you can see, it's doable, but it wasn't as easy to fold, and yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best. If I were to do this again, I would make it in a bigger size. So if you have paper that is thicker, just make your squares bigger. All right, so I have my squares already cut out. Esther, do you have your squares cut out? What are you doing? How do you so like I said, I am making 3D paper stars. So I'm gonna get started. I cut out 8 shapes. So my star is gonna have 8 points. The first thing we do is we fold the square like so. And I forgot to mention in terms of glue, again, this is the same vibe. Use whatever glue you want, whatever glue is accessible to you. So you can use like craft glue, or you can use again, whatever glue you have. I might use my hot glue, I don't know, I have it on standby, but it really does not matter. All right, so once we have the square folded diagonally, we're going to open it back up, and then here you can also use a ruler, which I actually like to do. You don't have to, you can also just use your hand, but I find the ruler sort of helps you be a bit more precise. So basically we're going to fold down one side. Okay, so you want it to be straight, following that line that we created, and then score it with your hands or with the ruler, and then repeat. Again, you don't have to use the ruler, so here, let me demonstrate. It can be done also just by using your hands. but I find that the ruler, again, helps with that precision. So once we have both sides folded, we're gonna turn it upside down. Hi Radhika, welcome. And then we're going to fold this side down. And again, you can use the ruler or your hands, but it basically, the fold needs to be right here where this paper ends. Another thing that you can do if you're using the ruler is create like a burnished line by folding the paper like so, by lifting it up and then sort of pressing down with your fingers against the ruler. And what that does is it creates a line already, so then when you go to fold it, it's easier. It sort of remembers where the fold is. So this is what we have so far. Okay, you guys following? Hopefully I'm not going too fast. I don't think I am. But again, this is an easy craft, and the steps are going to be repetitive, so you'll be able to see these steps again if you're watching this live and making this live. If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat here. All right, so now I'm going to fold from this corner. I'm going to bring it down here. So this side here is going to be straight here, if that makes sense. Okay, so sometimes it's easier to just show you guys than to explain it verbally. But I try to do both because I know everyone is different. So again, we went from here all the way down here. Okay, now if the obviously it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but that is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for that corner that was up here to be straight down. Okay, so make any adjustments to make it as straight as possible. Also, don't drive yourself crazy trying to make it like super precise, machine precise, because remember, this is handmade, and so the little small imperfections make it special, but we don't want the imperfections to be too great that they will interfere with our design. So let me show you guys what I have. My folds actually do not look perfect at all, but it will still work. So this is what my back looks like. This one is a little bit shorter, but mostly they are in the center here, and they've created two corners here. All right. Can you do something of Christmas if you know anything after? Well, this is Christmassy. It's festive. I mean, it's stars, festive stars. It can be used for any festive celebrations. But yeah, I definitely have a lot of Christmas ideas, a lot of Christmas crafts, a lot of Christmas projects coming up. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow me on Instagram too, because that's where I update you guys the most regularly. I try to be present here on YouTube as well, but it's not easy. So my main platform is Instagram. So make sure you follow me there, because I do go live almost every weekend. So I actually decided that I'm going to use my glue gun. So I'm using my shirt bonder. I already it's cordless, but I already heated up, so it's ready to go. So my folds, right? I had these folds here. I open them up, and you will notice there is this like flap here. You want to glue basically this part to this part on both sides. So I'm going to add some glue here and here, and then bring them back down. So, and sorry, I forgot to silence my phone, so I'm getting some texts, so bear with me there. So based on the glue that you are using, you might need to, wait a little bit for the glue to dry. In this case, since I'm using hot glue, it dries pretty fast. So then make sure that you have that line nice and straight there, nice and pronounced, because I think that gives it a really nice look. It creates that three-dimensional look. And yeah, just set it aside for now. You are done with that one, and everything else is a repeated step essentially. So you can repeat this step 3 more times to create a star like this, a 4-pointed star. You can repeat it 4 more times to create a 5-point star like this. 6, I don't think I've done one with 6, but this has 7, and I do like the one with 7 points as well, which is this one. You could add an embellishment in the end, but we'll talk about that later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Hi Kim, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So for those of you who are new, I do a lot of paper craft tutorials, a lot of paper flowers, and recently, I mean, I wouldn't say recently, but I'll say recently for the purposes of this video, because I don't want to make a long story. I've really gotten into crafting like with, I don't know, in a way that I can craft with like my daughter, for example, who is 7. So really simple crafts, especially for Christmas. I love the simple, homey DIY, something that you can make with any kind of paper. Yeah, I have a lot of those crafts coming up. In addition to those crafts, I also love doing very, let's say, detailed paper flower frames, garlands. So this is kind of like me on Christmas mode, where yes, I love paper flowers. They're my go-to, but in addition to that, I also like doing these other stuff, like the paper stars. All right, so if you have been crafting with me along, let me know. I'm curious to know where you guys are at. It kind of gives me like an idea of like how my pace is going. So here is our second point. Can't make a star with 2 points. So we're gonna keep on going. And yeah, let me know where you guys also are tuning in from. I am in the US, Maryland. I'm originally from Albania, but I live in Maryland. So that's the East Coast. And I know typically my fellow crafters who find me on the corners of the internet, they tend to be from all around the world. I know there's a lot of people from like Spanish-speaking countries. There's a bunch of people from Europe, which is, you know, my neck of the woods. There's people from India. So I would love, and then of course all around the US, I would love to know where you guys are tuning in from. But yeah, when I make this craft, if I'm not like working on it with someone else, I will sometimes just, you know, bring it with me, and as I'm watching a show or just spending time on the couch, I will be like working on it. And it's very satisfying. I love like doing all the folds, making everything creased and perfect. It's just, I don't know, hard to explain, but it's very therapeutic for me to do something with my hands, to keep my hands busy. I tried to be, I thought I was being like fast by cutting these squares by hand, because it's like, it's just 4 squares, but I'm so spoiled with my cutting machine that, I mean, look at me, for some reason I did not cut this square perfectly. I don't know. Ugh. Anyways, my eye still caught it, and so I was able to fix it. But yeah, I love using my cutting machines. So I typically design all of my, well, I was gonna say typically, yeah. I design my templates digitally, and then I turn them into vectors, and then from there I use my cutting machines to bring them to life, to cut all the elements, and then of course I use my hands to put everything together. But because I'm so used to having everything be cut with my cutting machine, I don't know, I feel sometimes so clumsy with scissors, and I want to change that. I'm also a bit of a scaredy cat and a bit of like a clumsy person, and so I've always sort of veered away from having to use too many sharp tools. But I don't like that. I think I need to change that about myself. I think just calling yourself a clumsy person is also not good. I mean, it's good to have awareness, but also, I don't know, too much awareness it can be not good. It can be like limiting, I think. So for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you may have seen a couple of weeks ago, gosh, time goes by so fast. A couple of weeks ago, I was using one of my like blades. Shout out to Excel Blades who sent that to me. And I tried to make a flower just by drawing on the paper and then using the blade to cut everything. And it was so humbling. Like, shout out to all the paper artists, to all the paper crafters who do everything by hand. It is not easy, but it's cool at the same time. I was able to like go past that fear and kind of enjoy the sensory experience of cutting paper, just like I enjoy the sensory experience of folding and shaping paper. Here's another square that is not, yeah, see, it's a little bit off here. And I know I haven't looked at the chat in a while, so give me a second, guys. It'd be nice to have something here for me to look at. Maybe I'll do that next time, because I have to like go on my tippy toes so that I can see the chat. All right, so not much has happened yet. Okay, as I said, now I made my third one. Oh, cool, sweet, Esther. So I just finished my fourth one, so I'm now starting my fifth one. And again, like if some of you were trying to create this star, which I love, you would be done by now. Like you would be putting them all together, but because, as I warned you, as I announced it in my stories, I will be using 7. Maybe I should even do 8, since I did cut out 8. I cut out an extra one just because like I had to because of the paper that I was cutting. But you know what, I want to make this a bit sharper. So yeah, I'm either gonna do 7 or 8. I've never done one with 8 points, and for some reason, I guess I've been staying away from even numbers, because, well, except for the 4 one, but 5, 7, right? I haven't done any with 6, and now I'm again, for some reason, not super into the idea of doing 8. I think I know why. I think because I think the 6 makes it look a little bit boxy, and the 8 too. I don't know. It could be something that I'm like overthinking. But so far, I tend to like more the ones with even or odd numbers, except for the 4-point star. I do love the 4-point star. It's, as you can see from my confetti, it's one of my favorite confetti to use. And it has like a, it's almost like the 4-point star, it's like a sparkle to me, you know, sparkle. So like this is like a giant sparkle and a tiny sparkle. Oh, so cute. All right, so I'm alternating between using my ruler and using just my hands, so no ruler, just to show you guys the difference. But it really depends on your workflow, what you prefer. Whatever you can get the best results with too. You might find that you reach for it only for a certain part of the project. I don't know why. There we go. I'm trying to line this up with the mat. I don't know why. I felt that was important. There. It would also be so cool if you had like a special paper, for example. Kind of talking to myself here and all the other parents with young kids who love to draw. My daughter loves to draw, and I have so many drawings of her. And you know, obviously I would not want to throw them away, but at the same time, sometimes like you may not have room for every single drawing. And so a cool way to display drawing or painting that your kid made for you, or any other kind of special paper, would be to turn it into a paper star and then put it on your tree. I think that would be so cute. Or gift it to someone. Oh my gosh. So many different options. See, this is for some reason not a perfect square. God knows what I did when I was cutting these. But we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. But yeah, my biggest challenge right now in these coming months is to to preserve that mindset that I have been trying to embrace lately, which is slow crafting, and not just slow crafting, honestly, just like a slower pace of life, because I've just been really craving it. And yeah, it's gonna be challenging because I also have a business to run, and this time of year is one of the busiest. So I have a lot of projects up in the air. I have brand partnerships I'm working with. I have different events, different workshops, and of course then also family things, family events, just time that I want to take for myself, just to like slow down. It's so funny, I need time. What I just said right now is I need time to spend time not doing anything. But literally, this is where I am right now in my life, that I need to make time, I need to carve out time to do nothing. Oh gosh, but no, in all seriousness, it is important, especially if you are like someone who is sensitive, someone who is, how do I say, let's just say sensitive. And, you know, you live in this world that is super fast-paced. If you don't make time for yourself, you'll just be in survival mode, you know. And the thing about survival mode is that you don't realize you're in it, and so then you are in survival mode for a long time, and that is just not good. I guess not just sensitive people though. I would say, you know, if you're someone that is, for example, a caretaker, you know, someone like a parent with small kids, or you have someone in your life that you are taking care of, in addition to, you know, your job and your other responsibilities. It can be a lot. And we all have responsibilities, even if you don't have someone else to take care of. Sometimes just taking care of yourself can be a lot, especially if we go back to that being a sensitive person, a sensitive soul. So just make sure you take care of yourself. One way to take care of yourself, of course, is to slow down, do things that bring you joy, do them slowly, mindfully, and peacefully. So yeah, crafting is definitely one of those things for me. That's why I was saying that around this time, I kind of love to simplify my crafting. If, you know, you'll see me throughout the year doing these complex paper flowers. During this time, especially this year, I really want to, yeah, just simplify it. I don't know how else to like say it, but I hope that makes sense for someone. All right, so there was a moment a little bit, a couple of seconds before, where I cut a little corner here. Because my square is not perfect, I ended up having like a little piece there. I just cut it so that it's nice and triangular. All right, so I am folding now my, what is this, my 7th. Oh my gosh. Now I have to make that decision. Am I gonna go with 8 or not? So the pros, let's measure the pros and cons. So pros would be that I would be showing you guys what an 8-point star looks like, and myself. Cons would be that maybe I won't like it, but you know what? It's okay. This is an experiment. So I'm gonna go with 8. Esther, how are you doing? Of course, the more you do of these, the faster also you will get. But again, unless like you're in a rush, just flow with it. That's what I'm doing, obviously, because I'm also like talking to you guys, and so I will go into a flow state with my hands, which is cool. I love that. But don't pressure yourself to be fast, is what I'm saying, because there's also beauty and benefit in doing things slowly too. I think for me personally, for many years, I was into this gotta do it fast, because I don't have enough time. So I was doing everything fast, and unfortunately that just led me to burnout, really, and unhappy times. So I'm, like I mentioned, trying to relearn to slow down. But sometimes I will find myself like rushing, and I'm like, whoa, why am I rushing? Like, slow down. And you know, it's sad in a way, because like you see essentially how shot like your nervous system is, how rushing and being in a time crunch and being anxious, because that's what it essentially is. It's anxiety. How that has become like your status quo, like your modus operandi, like your just the default way of being. And it's sad, but awareness is good. So catch yourself in that moment when you're rushing and take a deep breath, slow down, stop even, and then take a deep breath and then start again, but in a slow pace. Like, we have one life, and why do we want to spend our life rushing, stressing, worrying? I mean, there's certain things that, yes, you need to think about and you have to rush for, obviously, in an emergency. There's different things, but like, that shouldn't be your way of operating. It shouldn't be your daily routine. So if anyone else finds themselves in this position, I urge you, I implore you to stop. It's not, a flex to be busy and stressed and to have a million things on your to-do list. No. It is the opposite. Like, really, what are you trying to escape from? That's another question that could be useful to ask in these cases. Anyways, I thought this was going to be a holly jolly crafting session, and now I feel like this is an existential therapy session. But hey, you guys know that my lives are always like spontaneous and spur of the moment, and I still hope it's useful. I think I'm still sharing things that I think are important to share. Anyways, let me take a look at the chat. So, Esther, I'm at the 7th. Sweet. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Oh, ç'kemi mami. Okej, shumë të drejtë. Shikon, ti më kupton. Shumë mirë. Super. All right, so I am now ready to attach my shapes, my points. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this triangle, basically both of the triangles, to attach the pieces together. So you have your point, and in the bottom you have these two triangles. The triangles are going to come together like so. That's the part we're going to glue, and that's how they will stay together. So using the glue of your choice, add it to one triangle, and then make sure they're obviously the same, facing the same way, and then use the other triangle from the other piece so that they are even, like so. Press down here so that you are making sure the glue adheres. And that's step one. If you want to, you can also like push the piece down, squeeze it down, so you can apply your glue. But it's the same thing. They're all going to face the same direction, and they're all going to glue onto each other via this triangle. So I'm just going to continue with that pattern. If you need minor adjustments, to bring them in the same place so that they're not uneven edges here. So it should be like one smooth line with a corner, but you know what I mean. It's like one straight line at the same time if you look at it from the side. So that should be your goal with every triangle. Corners, and then the bottom, the side, they start and finish at the same spot, when you look at it from the side. So here we have the beginning. Just keep on going. Looks like my glue is finishing, so I'm gonna need to add some more. Okay. So if you were to do the 4-point star, you would be finished now. You can just glue that part and then you'll be done. But since I'm gonna continue with more points, I'm gonna, I don't know if I have any next to me right now. Yeah, I don't have any glue sticks next to me right now, so I'm just gonna continue with my craft glue. Let's see how that goes. So I'm gonna add some glue to the triangle. And with this, since this is craft glue, it's gonna need a little bit more time to dry. What you can do is put like a little clip or like a tiny clothespin. I'm gonna have a bunch. Here, let me grab. So like, I always have these handy, like mini clothespins that I got at the craft store. You should be okay because there's nothing that's like pulling these pieces, so it stays. But depending on the glue you're using, if you need extra time for it to dry, you can just put the clothespins and then continue working like with the other pieces. Okay. Oh, what happened to the music? And I'm continuing to add glue to the triangle. Do I add another point? Oops, I'm gonna add my point. Oops, my point came off. Let's try it again. Take these off now. Just see, we have a, what is it, 6-point? I guess a 6-point is not that bad. Yeah, 6-point is cute. This is what a 6-point star would look like. But I'm gonna keep going. I just don't like how this glued. Try to move it a little bit more. Okay, that should be fine for now. Okay, I'm gonna smoosh the triangles here a little bit. Okay, so we're not gonna need this anymore. Now I'm getting ready to glue my 7th point. Yeah, some of these squares I'm definitely finding out they were not the same. So like I see this is a little bit bigger than this, so I'm having a hard time like lining it up, but it's still gonna look fine. So I'm gonna try to line it up here in the front because that's the most important part. And you can see that here, hold on, it's a small, very small like misalignment. It's something I prefer to avoid, but it's not the end of the world because again, well, yeah, it's fine. It's fine, but definitely an important lesson to learn here is that you need to make sure that all your squares are the same exact, the same exact size. All right, so this is the 7-point, which again, cute, but I'm gonna add one more. Okay, I'm trying to be as delicate and gentle as possible since I'm using the craft glue. And I know it needs a little bit of extra time to dry. Okay. And here's the last piece. I'm going to try to match the tip as best as I can. There we go. And then I'm going to let this dry a little bit more, but basically the last one you're going to glue on the other side as well, so you can bring it together with the first point. Okay. Please don't fall apart. Okay, so it should be kind of like ready to go already. Okay, I always like to flip it because I want to make sure it looks good from the front. And then here you'll see that you might need to adjust certain pieces which are like extra folded, right? Open them up if they're too thin, or fold them more if they're like taking up more room than the other points. But definitely be careful because your glue is still drying, so I would, you know, not mess with it. The best thing to do really is to, once you've made sure like everything is lined up here, put it backwards, you know, add the clothespins, and let it dry. So for this glue, I would say 5 to 7 minutes. And then flip it. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to pretend that I let my glue dry 100%. And here is your star. Actually, I do like the 8-point. I think I'm gonna, yeah, I don't want to mess with it too much because my glue is still drying, but yeah, I like it. It doesn't look as boxy as I thought it would look, but I definitely need to make some of my points open up a little bit more, like that one. Now, what you can do is you're either finished, so you can place this wherever you want. You could add some string in the back and hang it in your tree. Another thing that I like to do is add a little embellishment. So it could be like a small star. It could be something like this. This is like a styrofoam embellishment from the craft store. And there you go. Hester, how did yours come out? I hope you guys are happy with your star. If you're not, just keep practicing and obviously it will get better. Mine had some issues, which was that my squares were not all the same, so it's not ideal, but look, even in less than ideal circumstances, it came out cute. This needs to dry. Alright guys, I hope you liked this tutorial. I hope you learned something new, something useful. And if you want to share your stars with me and you didn't get the chance here, this is also for those of you who will be re-watching the live, because I will be posting it. Share your photos with me, your creations with me on Instagram. Like I said, that's my main hub, my main platform. I would be happy. I would love to see your creations. So yeah, thank you for crafting with me on this Sunday morning. I hope you had fun. Esther says, good, I like it. We'll cut my paper first with Cricut to come straight. I know, I'm gonna do the same. I mean, I thought squares would be easy, but look at me. Anyway, it's okay, even if your star did not come out perfect. I still hope you enjoyed the process of making it. I still hope you enjoyed learning about this technique, and stay tuned because I have so many more of this style of crafting, which is like basically just folding paper, cutting paper by hand. I'm not the best at it because I'm used to cutting with my cutting machine, but as you saw, you don't have to be perfect at something to try it, to enjoy it, and to make something beautiful. All right, guys, have a good rest of your Sunday. See ya.